Let's see some uses of arrays and array lists in Java. We'll skip the basic examples and go directly to those intermediate examples. Declare an array of 10 integers, call it data. This is very simple. Now do the following using methods or functions. So we need to declare an array of 10 integers called data. The first function, fill the array with 10 non-negative integers. So we need to fill the array with 10 non-negative integers. Let's go to code. Here I am in Eclipse. Let me create a class with a main method and let me call it arrays fun. So this is it. Now let's start one by one. So we need to declare an integer array. So I can say integer array called data is equal to new integer of size 10. So now we have declared the array. Now we need to fill it. If we don't fill it, all the values are 0. Let's pay attention to this. The function says fill the array with 10 non-negative integers. So I'm going to create a function, but I just want you also to pay attention that we will not return the filled array from the functions because arrays in Java are passed by reference. Let's see this. Let me go here. I'll create a function, call it public static fill void fill non-negative. So we will fill the array data with non-negative. So here is integer array and the name is data. Good. So now this is our function. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a scanner. Let's call it input equals new scanner. We need to do this all the time. System.in. And this scanner is going to be used for getting input from the keyboard. This is one. Now I need to go one by one, ask the user to input a value, make sure the value is non-negative. And in my loop, I need to use the index. So I'll use a simple for loop for integer I is equal to 0. I is less than data dot length I plus plus and open a block. Now I'll ask the user integer v value and I will tell the user, let me say input dot next integer. Tamam. Before I do this, I need to tell the user what I need from him. So I'm going to say enter an integer. Good. So now we need to make sure the integer is non-negative. So I need to use a validation loop while v is less than 0. Then we need to tell the user input a non-negative integer. Enter here. I can say non-negative integer. And again, read the value. And now without the definition here. So now this loop will finish only when you input a non-negative value. Then I can say data I is equal to v outside the loop. Data I is equal to v after making sure is validated. So data 0, data 1, data 2 until you finish. And I will not return the filled array. No need to return filled arrays because arrays in Java are passed by reference. If it was an integer or something and you make some changes, those things are going to be passed by value and you need to return them. Let's see what happens. I'll call the method fill non-negative of data and then see what happens. After I do this, I will print the array and I think I need another method it's in the question, print the array neatly. يعني try to find a method that prints an integer array neatly, and this is very simple. I'll just here create a method and say print array. And this method is just gonna print the array. So let us say here, we will do sysout. We print something like this. No need for a new line. And then go do the same loop, the one we do always here. And inside the loop, I'll say sysout. And no need to print a new line. And here I'll say data I plus space. And after I finish all the items, I will say system out. And now I can make it println, so it goes to the next line. So just in order to show you what happened, I will call the method print array before and after. So print array before I fill it, and print array after I fill it. One thing is missing here. You see the input. We did not close it. If you see a green sign like this, so we need to make sure we close the input stream. And let's see. Run. Excellent. See, our array is 10 zeros. Integers are initialized to 0. Now I'm filling it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now let me try to give negative values. It's not gonna work. 9, 33, 44, 55. Excellent. So the array has been filled. It has been returned also. No need to return it because arrays are passed by reference. يعني if you send an array to function and the function makes changes to the array, no worries, you don't have to return it. This applies to all types of lists. So now what I created a method called fill non-negative and print array. So we showed you how to fill conditionally, how to print an array, and I believe now you know that when you send an array to a function, you don't have to expect it to return it, and no need to return it. Now the last option, sort the array using arrays class. There is a special class called arrays, and the arrays class helps you. Very simple. Arrays dot sort and sort data. And after sort data, I will call print array. So now here, if the data is numeric, it will be sorted in an ascending order. If it's textual, it's going to be sorted also alphabetical order. So now here, I'll just, to save time, I'll make the array of size 5. I'll print it before I do anything. You will see all zeros. I'll fill it conditionally with non-negative values. I'll print it again and then sort it. And after I sort it, I'll print it. I'm using print again and again just to show you the results. So run here. Tamam. So I'll give you 99, 89, 78, 56, 100, and this value. And if you look at it, this is before sorting and this is after sorting. So there is a special class called arrays, and you need to import it. Here it was imported automatically for us. And arrays sort is going to help you sort arrays. It's not array, it's arrays class, a special class. So this is how to fill an array. This is how to just do something like printing an array. If you want to search an array for a certain value or find the maximum, minimum, or other these things, if your data or contents of the array are integers, I believe I have covered this in many other tutorials. The second part is creating an array of objects. And here we will use the cars or the class car. So it's going to be an array of cars. So we'll call the array cars and the size is going to be 5. Fill it with 5 car objects. So let's see first the car class and create an array and fill it with 5 different cars object. Here is the car object, public class car. We have make, year, price, fuel type. Fuel type is an enum. And here's the fuel type: diesel, gasoline, hybrid, and electric. So the car is just one fully parameterized constructor. Get make, set make. The year here is validated. Yani you cannot set a car year less than 2000. Okay, only if it's greater than 2000, otherwise going to be 2000. The price is also validated. And remember, fuel type is an enumeration. And toString, I believe there is a good work here. And get registration tax is also a nice method here. You can learn from it. Registration is like how much you pay. And many countries give some discount on hybrid and electric. So now case diesel or gasoline is going to be 30%. Hybrid is going to be 15% tax. And electric is going to be only 5% tax. And we return the tax. The tax is going to be percentage from the car price. So diesel and gasoline will be 30%, 15%. Nice method and makes sense also. Apply discount. We use this method if we want to reduce the price of a car. We send the percentage. And the toString, I believe the method is good and has been done using string format. We will see this before we do anything. So now let us make another class as a tester. I'll call it cars array. And this one will have a main method. And the first thing to do here, I will say car array cars equals new car of size 5 as it is requested. Now I need to fill it with 5 cars. Let us see what we can do here. I got this code from a previous example. So now I filled the array with 5 cars of all different types, of all models, and that's it, I believe. Now let me just print it and show you. For car C in the array cars, let us say sysout C. I believe the toString method here is going to help us a lot. Excellent. Car make, Honda, price, year, model, registration tax, all these information are available now. Good. So now we have an array of 5 cars. Filled it. Let's see what is needed now. Now, in part 3, use functions to find and return. You need to pay attention to the return type. The following: most expensive car price. So we want the price, which is double. So we will create a function that will always returns the maximum price of the car. Total price of all cars, this is easy. Cheapest car and number of cars, we will see this. So now let's see most expensive car and total price of all cars. So I'll make a method here, public static double, and I'll say total cost of all cars, and I will provide the cars array to this method. And this is, by the way, is very simple here. I just need to say double total is equal to 0, and no need to use the classic for loop. I can say for car C in the array cars and total plus equal C dot get price, and that's it. And finally return total. وبس خلاص. That's it. So now this is a quick way of finding the price of all cars. And now let me just do get most expensive price. Get most expensive price. So for this one, I just need the price. I don't need the car. However, you can try to find the car. يعني you can say car, okay, max price is equal, for example, cars 0. This is one way of doing it. and then you try to compare the prices. But at the end, you return the price of this car. So here I can say if C dot get price is greater than max dot what? Get price. Remember, max is a car. If it's greater, then max is equal to C. I just changed the reference from the max to the C. Let us say the third car is the most expensive, so it's no longer is going to be pointed to the first car. طيب. At the end, what you need to return, you will return the price of max. So why I did this way, I just wanted you to see that in many cases, you will search for the object, but at the end, you return object and whatever value. يعني if I needed the name or the make or the registration or the fuel type, the same code in the first few lines will not change. And at the end, what do you want? I want the price. So that's it, get price. So now here, this method will search all cars and finally will return the most expensive car price. So let us just test these two methods. Sys out. خلينا نقول first one is equal to total cost, and I like get total cost. I will call get total cost of cars, and the second one will be get most expensive car price of all the cars. And let's see what happens here. This is the total cost and 211 is the most expensive. Let's make sure, yes, this one is 211. Let me make the first one here 7777, one more 7, and run here. We find that it's working fine. So done with the first two methods. The third method, I need the cheapest car, not its price. I need the cheapest car. So I need to return a car and number of cars from a particular make. Let's make number 3. So I'll create a method here, static car. This is one important thing here. Get cheapest car, and I will send the array of cars. So remember, I need to return what? A car object. Tamam. By the way, I will do all this. So here I say cheapest. And now I go get price is less than cheapest, get price, then cheapest is equal to C. And finally, after all these things, I return cheapest. That's it. I return cheapest. So this way, I'm returning the cheapest car object, the object itself, not its price, not its one of data members. So let us here also, we can also print it, remember, because we have a toString available in the car class. So now get cheapest car, خلينا نتأكد إنه BMW هاي, okay, بس نحط لها 4 أرقام, is the cheapest car and run. And you see here, the cheapest car is BMW. Let us just make it another one, this one now, which is Mercedes, and run. And again, the cheapest car is Mercedes. We return the car itself. One more question. Number of cars from a particular make. يعني, give me how many Mercedes, how many BMWs, how many whatever. It can be number of cars of a certain fuel type or whatever. So you just need a count here. So here I'll make a method similar to this. And it's going to be a counter here. No, not this one, maybe. I'll use the first one. And here, get car count. And I need to provide two things to the user. The cars array and a string that contains what? The model or the make. بس خلاص. So now here, I'm going to say integer count is equal to 0. for cars, C in cars. Now, if statement, if what? If C dot get make dot, remember this is a string, equals ignore case to be in the safe side, equals make, بس خلاص. Then count plus plus. That's it. So now count plus plus if this car make equals ignore case the make. Yani when you call this method, you need to send the array of cars and which make you are trying to find and return count. So let's test it now. And here the method is get car count. So let's test it. And what's the method name? Get car count. And let us test it with Honda. And let's see how many Hondas now. I have two. 1, 2 Hondas. Excellent. But why it's 2? Is it double? Oh yeah, here I need what? I need to say what? Integer. And now I'll search for Honda. I get 2 Hondas. And let me search for Toyota. Of course, the case here doesn't mind because you search equal ignore case. So if I type Toyota here, this way, all small case or mixed case, it should also work. Next, we'll do similar things, but using array lists. Now, we will create an array list of cars, and we will fill it also with 5 car objects. And see here, I'm going to be doing similar things. Most expensive car price, total price of all cars. And if you pay attention, you will find that not much difference. Here I created a car list. I don't know actually how many, but I believe many cars inside it. So we'll see the first example. Get the most expensive car. So I will go to the cars array and get most expensive car and come to the car list here and try to see if there is any change in this. There will be one change because here this one takes a cars array, and while here we have what? An array list of cars. So now I'll just make this one what? Array list of cars. Of course, this now is going to be wrong because with an array list, you don't have this type of index. You need to use get. So I can say cars.get 0. So this is how we get the first element. Then you keep searching. You may compare the price and you return the maximum price. Hopefully this is going to work now. Sys out. So now I'm going to say get most expensive car price, and I will send the array list what? Cars. Is it cars or car list here I call it? So let's make sure this is going to work. Tamam. Excellent. The maximum is 211, which is correct. So now the second one, get the total price of all cars. So I can go to the cars array example and again do this. And maybe in this example, I don't have to do a lot of changes, or maybe one minor change. So here is going to be an array list of cars. وخلينا نشوف maybe I believe there is no need to do any changes, because here we say total is 0 for each car, get it. And you know this loop is going to work for arrays and array lists, and it will return total. So that's it. I believe for this example, this is going to work what? So get total cost is working fine. Good. Excellent. So number 3, an array list of cars. Remember, this is asking for an array list of what? Cars. With year more than a particular value. Yani, for example, give me a list of cars of like 2010 and up, more than. Let's see this. So remember, you need to return an array list of cars. So my method here is going to be public static array list of car. And here get cars list. Okay, I will send the car list, the big car list, and integer, and I will say year. So now this method is gonna check which cars are greater than or equal to this model and make a new list of them. We'll not make new objects, only new list. You know, the same objects will be referenced by both lists. So now here I'm gonna say array list of car. Okay, new cars, let me just call it new cars equals new array list of car. You need to initialize it, otherwise nothing's gonna work. بس خلاص. Now I go and in the same loop, whatever car satisfies my condition, I'll add it to the new list. بس خلاص, that's it. Here, so I will say if c.get mod year is greater than year, then I need to add it to the new list. So new cars.add c. بس خلصنا, by the way. So this is an array list of new cars, empty list. I add to it only those car objects that satisfy my what? Condition. And finally, I can say return new cars. So this method returns an array list of cars that what? Have certain models or certain whatever condition. You just create an empty array list. Whatever object satisfies your condition or search or target, you can add it to the other list and return the other list at the end. Look here, we are returning the other list. So now, even here, I'll show you when we print it, because there is a toString, hopefully. So now, let me just get car list. And here, let us say, and 2005. How many عنا كتير؟ لا, 2015. Yes, 2015 عنا 6-7 سيارات 2015. And I will print the list. Run. Good. Car make, BMW, whatever. This is the first car. And what's next? This is the second car. And the third car, the fourth car, whatever car. So now I could create a list of cars that satisfy certain condition or year or make or fuel type. Finally, I need to find a number of cars using a particular fuel type. Also, this is very simple, by the way. So here, I will make a method that returns an integer. So public integer, because we need number of cars, get fuel count. And this method needs the array list itself, and it needs the fuel. So here, what is this? A fuel, I will call it what? Let me see, a fuel, all caps here. Fuel is defined, if you see here, fuel has been defined here. Tamam. We just say what? A fuel, and one of them is going to be what type? So it's going to be gasoline or whatever. Again, now we will say integer count is equal to 0. And I will use this for loop. This for loop is very useful if you do not make any changes. So now, if what now? If c.get fuel type is equal to type, then I need to close this. Then I say count plus. وبس خلاص, finally return count. Does that make sense? Return count. So now I know how many cars of a certain fuel type. So let me just call the method. I will again call it this way. I'll use copy paste to save few seconds. And here I will say fuel gasoline or fuel hybrid. So I believe gasoline. Let us see gasoline. I'll copy this. And this is how to use, okay, this is how to use the enumeration. So we have 3 gasoline. And is it 3? Yes. Let's see how many electric. Okay. I believe 2 electric only. So let me run this. We have 3 electric ولا 2 1 2 okay 3 yeah 3 so hybrid 1 and 2 hybrid. Let us just make it كتير hybrid. We have 5 hybrid maybe. So let us just run this and we have, oh, I did not change it to hybrid. So let me just change it to hybrid and make sure my code is working. I have 6 hybrid cars.